Have you ever begged for your feelings to disappear and then felt frustrated when they stayed like a quiet fire that refuses to go out? Have you ever wondered if the fact that you still care means you are meant to be together, or if it means you are meant to grow? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a question that shows up when the heart is tired and the mind wants a clean ending. Why is God not removing your feelings for someone? I want to hold to ideas from the starts, so everything we explore stays grounded and healing. First, feelings are not always instructions. Sometimes feelings are evidence of attachment, memory, habit, and unfinished grief. And God may be teaching you how to carry feeling with wisdom instead of letting feeling carry you into chaos. Second, when feelings remain, the deeper invitation is usually not obsession but transformation, meaning you are being asked to learn something about love, boundaries, forgiveness, self-respect, and discernment, so you stop repeating the same lesson in different faces. Let us enter this through a story, because a story makes the inner process feel real. Imagine a person named Rachel. Not a real name, but a real pattern. Rachel is the kind of person who loves sincerely. When she commits with her whole self. She does not play games. She does not enjoy half love. She wants clarity, devotion, honesty, and a relationship that grows in real life, not just in late-night messages. Rachel meets someone named Ethan. Ethan is charming in a quiet way. He knows how to speak about faith, values, and purpose. He says he wants a serious future. He says he wants a partner, not a situationship. He says he wants to build something that honors God. Rachel feels relief because she has been tired of shallow connections. At first, the bond feels calm. They pray sometimes. They talk about family. They talk about what kind of home they want. They laugh easily. Rachel feels like she can breathe again. Then slowly the pattern shifts. Ethan does not do something dramatic at first. He simply becomes inconsistent. He is warm when it is easy, distant when it is deep. He speaks about commitment but avoids concrete steps. He says he cares, but his actions do not match his words. When Rachel asks for clarity, Ethan says she is overthinking. When Rachel asks for emotional presence, Ethan says he feels pressured. He does not scream. He does not insult her directly. He just keeps the relationship in a fog. Rachel begins to feel anxious. She starts praying, "God, please remove these feelings if this is not for me." She asks for peace. She asks for clarity. She asks for strength to walk away if she needs to. And then she feels confused because she still cares. Even after a painful conversation, even after a cold week, even after a breakup that Ethan delivers with gentle spiritual language that somehow still leaves her bleeding, Ethan ends it by saying things like, "I need to focus on my walk. I am not ready. You deserve better. God is leading me somewhere else." Rachel goes home and feels like she cannot breathe. She tries to worship. She tries to read scripture. She tries to distract herself. But every quiet moment brings him back. She sees his name in random places. She hears a song that reminds her. She dreams about him. She imagines him with someone else and feels sick. She remembers his smile and feels warmth and rage at the same time. And then she asks again, "God, why are you not removing my feelings?" This is where many people get trapped. They assume that if feelings remain, it must mean the person is meant for them. Or they assume it means God is testing them to hold on no matter what. Or they assume it means they are weak. But there is another possibility that is both kinder and wiser. Feelings can remain because your nervous system is attached. Attachment is not a moral failure. It is a human bond response. When you invest time, intimacy, and hope, your body and mind build pathways. Those pathways do not vanish just because the relationship ended. A feeling can remain like an echo in a room after the music stops. So if you pray for feelings to disappear instantly, you may be asking for your humanity to turn off like a switch. God may not remove feelings because the path is not numbness. The path is maturity. Maturity means you learn to feel without being controlled by feeling. Rachel does not understand this at first. She thinks if God loved her, God would erase the pain. But love does not always erase pain. Sometimes love strengthens you to walk through pain with wisdom. So Rachel enters the next phase. The phase where faith becomes real. In the beginning of heartbreak, many people pray like this: God, take this away. Later, after the first waves, they start praying like this: God, show me what this is teaching me. That shift is huge, because the first prayer can sometimes be a hidden attempt to escape the lesson. The second prayer is willingness to grow. Rachel starts journaling, not inspirational quotes, honest words. She writes, I still want him. I still miss him. I still imagine reunion. I still feel angry. I still feel embarrassed. I still feel like I failed. I still wonder if I was not enough. Then she writes another sentence that scares her. I think I am more attached to the fantasy than to the reality. When she writes it, her chest tightens. Because it is true. Reality is Ethan was inconsistent. Reality is she felt anxious. Reality is she felt like she had to earn basic effort. Reality is she made excuses for him. Reality is she abandoned her own needs to keep the connection alive. Fantasy is he will wake up and become the man he promised to be. Fantasy is he will choose her fully. Fantasy is all this pain will become proof that it was destined. Many people confuse fantasy with faith. Faith is trust in God. Fantasy is trying to force a specific outcome. God may not remove your feelings because God is not interested in helping you cling to fantasy. God is interested in teaching you truth. Now Rachel begins to see something else. Her feelings are not only about Ethan, they are also about her. They are about what she believed love should be. They are about what she tolerated. They are about the part of her that wanted to be chosen so badly. They are about the part of her that equated attention with worth. They are about the childhood pattern that trained her to earn love. This is where the karmic layer shows up in a grounded way. Karma can be understood as the momentum of repeated patterns. If Rachel learned early that love is inconsistent, she may be drawn to inconsistent partners, not because she loves pain, but because the nervous system recognizes familiar rhythm. When Ethan pulled away, her system did what it has done before. It tried harder. It chased. It negotiated. It hoped. God may not remove feelings because God may be asking her to break a pattern that feelings alone cannot break. The pattern breaks through choice, boundaries, and inner healing. Now let us talk about the phrase God is not removing your feelings for someone because, and what it might actually mean in real life. Sometimes feelings remain because you need to grieve fully. People want to skip grief. They want to jump to peace without passing through sadness. But grief is the process that releases attachment. If you do not grieve, you do not release. You repress. Repressed grief returns as obsession, bitterness, or numbness. Sometimes feelings remain because you have not forgiven. Forgiveness does not mean pretending harm did not matter. Forgiveness means you stop feeding the wound with daily mental replay. Forgiveness is reclaiming your attention. You can forgive and still have boundaries. You can forgive and still not go back. Sometimes feelings remain because you have not accepted reality. Acceptance is not approval. Acceptance is saying, this is what happened. This is who they are right now. This is what I experienced. Without acceptance, you keep bargaining with the past. Bargaining keeps you stuck. Sometimes feelings remain because you are still tied to the identity of the relationship. When a bond ends, an identity ends too. You were a we. Now you are an I. That shift can feel like falling. Your feelings may be the mind trying to rebuild the old identity so you do not have to face the empty space. God may not remove your feelings because God wants you to rebuild identity on something deeper than a person. Sometimes feelings remain because you are being purified. Purified does not mean punished. It means your love is being refined from neediness to wisdom, from craving to compassion, from attachment to devotion, devotion to what is true, not to what is merely desired. Rachel starts noticing how often her feelings spike when she feels lonely or insecure. She realizes some of the longing is not about Ethan. It is about her fear of being alone. She also realizes something painful. She sometimes misses the highs more than she misses the person. The unpredictable warmth, the sudden messages, the rush of being chosen again after being ignored. That is not stable love. That is an addiction cycle. This is why God might not remove feelings quickly, because the deeper work is learning to stop confusing intensity with intimacy. Now Rachel decides to do something courageous. She decides to stop interpreting her feelings as a sign to chase. She decides to treat feelings as information, not instruction. She makes a plan. When longing hits, she will not message Ethan. She will breathe, name what she feels, and do one action of care. Water, food, walk, call a friend, pray honestly, journal one page, then wait. At first, the urge to contact him feels unbearable, but she discovers something crucial. The urge rises and falls like a wave. It does not stay at peak forever. The wave feels like it will kill you, but it passes. This is a spiritual discovery because it teaches you that you can survive emotion without obeying it. That is what maturity looks like. Then she does another hard thing. She creates distance from triggers. She mutes his social media. She stops rereading old texts. She stores photos away, not to erase memory, but to stop reopening the wound. Some people call this cold. It is not cold. It is compassionate discipline. If you keep poking a bruise, it will never heal. Now Rachel begins to feel moments of peace, small moments. A morning where she does not think of him for an hour. An afternoon where she laughs with a friend. An evening where she sleeps a little better. These moments are signs too, not signs that you should go back. Signs that you are healing. Then something happens that many people experience. Ethan reaches out. A message appears. I miss you. I have been thinking about you. I hope you are doing well. Rachel feels her whole body react. The heart races. The mind imagines reunion. The old fantasy lights up. She thinks, maybe this is why God did not remove my feelings. Maybe this is the confirmation. But Rachel has grown. She does not respond immediately. She prays, not to force an outcome. To seek wisdom, she asks, God, give me discernment. Help me see truth, not only desire. Then she asks herself a question that changes everything. Is Ethan offering a changed pattern, nor only a comforting moment? Because a karmic loop can pull you back with a sweet message and then repeat the same pain. You do not break karma by returning. You break karma by changing the pattern. Rachel replies calmly, I hope you are well too. What are you reaching out for? "What do you want now?" Ethan responds vaguely, "I do not know. I just feel connected to you. I still have feelings." Rachel realizes something. Feelings are not a plan. Feelings are not accountability. Feelings are not consistency. She has feelings too, but she is not asking feelings to carry the whole relationship anymore. So she asks the next question: what would be different if we tried again? Ethan avoids specifics. He talks about timing. He talks about being busy. He talks about how relationships are hard. He talks about faith in a way that sounds spiritual, but contains no concrete responsibility. Rachel feels sadness. She wanted him to be different, but she also feels clarity, and clarity is peace. She says, "I care about you, and I am not returning to confusion. If you want to build something, it has to be consistent and respectful. If you do not know, I wish you well and I am moving forward." Then she puts the phone down and cries, not because she made the wrong choice, because she is letting the fantasy die. And fantasy dying feels like grief. But this is where God meets you, not by erasing feeling, but by strengthening your boundaries. Now let us talk directly about the reasons feelings can remain even when a person is not right for you. Because love is not only about compatibility. Love is also about imprinting. Your brain and body store memory, touch, laughter, intimacy, shared routines, shared dreams. Those memories can keep producing feeling long after the bond ends. God is not removing your feelings because feelings are part of your design. The question is what you do with them. You can carry feeling and still choose wisdom. You can miss someone and still know they are not good for you. You can love someone and still refuse to be harmed by them. You can forgive someone and still not return. This is mature love. It is not cold. It is clean. Now let us go deeper into the spiritual meaning without turning this into superstition. Sometimes feelings remain because you are being taught compassion, not the compassion that enables chaos, but compassion that sees the humanity of the other person without surrendering your dignity. You can look at Ethan and see that he may be afraid, unhealed, avoidant, ashamed, confused. You can wish him well. You can pray for him, and you can still leave. This is what compassion with boundaries looks like. Sometimes feelings remain because you are being taught patience. Patience does not mean waiting for someone forever. Patience means giving your own healing time. Your heart is not a machine. It cannot instantly reset. Patience means you let grief unfold without panicking. You let the waves come and go. You do not rush into a new relationship just to numb the pain. You do not shame yourself for remembering. You simply keep practicing. Sometimes feelings remain because you are being taught surrender. Surrender is not giving up on love. Surrender is releasing the obsession to control outcome. Many people say, "God, remove my feelings." But what they really mean is, "God, remove uncertainty. God, remove the discomfort of not knowing. God, remove the humility of waiting." But surrender is the path. Surrender teaches trust in God, not in a person. Sometimes feelings remain because you are being taught self-respect. Self-respect is a spiritual practice. It is the decision to treat your own heart as sacred. If you keep returning to disrespect, you teach yourself that your heart is negotiable. If you set boundaries, you teach yourself that your heart matters. Rachel begins to embody self-respect, and something shifts. Her feelings start changing, not disappearing instantly, but changing shape. At first, feelings were sharp and desperate. Then they become sad and tender. Then they become quieter. Then they become gratitude for what she learned. Then they become compassion from a distance. Then they become neutral. This is how healing works. Feelings transform when you stop feeding them with fantasy and contact. Now let us talk about another common misunderstanding. People sometimes say, if God is not removing my feelings, it must be because this person is my soulmate. But what if the purpose of the feelings is not reunion, but revelation? A relationship can enter your life to reveal your attachment style, to reveal your boundaries, to reveal your tendency to overgive, to reveal your fear of being alone, to reveal your habit of ignoring red flags, to reveal your craving for validation, to reveal your need to learn discernment. If that is the lesson, then God may allow the feelings to remain long enough for you to learn. And then the feelings naturally loosen when the lesson is integrated. This is why you cannot rush the process, but you can guide it with wise actions. Now I want to speak to you in a direct and gentle way if you are in the place where you keep praying for feelings to go away. Your feelings do not make you weak. Your feelings do not mean you should go back. Your feelings mean you are human. Your feelings can be held by God and guided by wisdom. Do not treat feelings like a verdict. Treat them like weather. Weather passes. You do not have to chase the storm. And if you are still connected to the person, here is a spiritual question that helps. Does this relationship lead me closer to peace, integrity, and compassion, or does it lead me into anxiety, confusion, and self-betrayal? God does not guide you into self-betrayal. God guides you toward truth. Truth may be that the person is not ready. Truth may be that you were not being respected. Truth may be that you were staying from fear. Truth may be that you are being called to grow. And growth sometimes requires letting go. Now let us close with a final scene that carries the main lesson. Months later, Rachel is sitting in a quiet room. The kind of quiet that used to scare her. She remembers Ethan. She feels a small ache, but she does not spiral. She does not reach for her phone. She simply breathes. She says a quiet prayer. God, thank you for what I learned. Thank you for not letting me stay asleep. Help me live wisely. Help me choose peace. Help me become the kind of person who can hold love without losing myself. She feels a calmness, not because every question is answered, but because she is grounded. This is the answer to the title in the most honest form. God may not remove your feelings because the real miracle is not numbness. The real miracle is transformation. The real miracle is that you learn to carry love with wisdom, to set boundaries with compassion, and to choose a destiny that is not controlled by attachment. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Share your story in the comments in your own words. Have you ever asked for your feelings to disappear? What helped you heal? What boundary helped you stop repeating the loop? What lesson did your heart learn the hard way? If you want more long-form talks about love, faith, karma, wisdom, compassion, and the real practice of healing, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so this community can keep growing. And if you want to support the work even more, consider joining as a member. Until next time, keep your heart soft, keep your boundaries clear, and remember that feelings are not chains. With God and wisdom, feelings can become teachers.